the Berkeley College Republicans. The invitation to Ann Coulter was made because the Berkeley College Republicans chose her to represent their point of view in this debate. Views should never be voiced in isolation is our main message, and views should be challenged constantly. And the reason why we invited Ann Coulter is to challenge that view, to challenge that other narrative, the other side of the country, essentially. Our main mission is bridging the political divide, and we do that by getting people just to talk to each other. And on campus, we do that by, inviting BCR, the Berkeley College Republicans, and the Cal Democrats out to debates that we host, where they, debate each other. So after the Milo riots and everything surrounding that, we kind of saw the need for a space where people who were on, the wide ends of the political spectrum can come together and just talk about issues. And, however far right or however far left you are, we're trying to create a space where all political views and opinions are welcome, but are also going to be challenged through debate and discussion. And that's essentially the space we're trying to create because we found that lacking on our campus. On the part of organizations, the other organizations involved, we believe that, they were turning this event into a different type of narrative. And I think, to some extent, this event is still painted that way. It's still painted as, a second Milo Yiannopoulos at Berkeley. Is painted as a provocation. And that's not at all what we wanted to do. And a lot of people, I think, in this process were capitalizing off of the publicity that, this whole free speech battle was kind of portrayed as. Free speech is not, a one-way street. It's a two-way street. It comes with both speaking and listening. And the whole purpose behind this idea of free speech is to reach an understanding, between both sides. The reason why we invited her was to bring in the ideas that we want to challenge. These are the type of ideas that we would like to challenge every single day, the Berkeley community. There's legitimate hate speech that is nothing more than provocation. It's inflammatory, and we've seen that. Even Ann Coulter engages in that. We know that. Ann Coulter engages in the type of speech that is not representative of what our organization's mission is.
The idea that if you
No. The Congressional Budget Office
of welfare-receiving, assistance-needing peasants on the country, that is going to help the American economy. It's preposterous. They get more in government assistance.
The only way to try and combat that, the only way to try and combat both views and rhetoric that we would view as hateful, is to do that in an arena of equal playing field. And that's the arena of debate.
Charles Cook Institute. Free speech isn't about provocation, violence, publicity stunts, selling books or testing limits. At their best, universities start and nurture conversations that advance dialogue and understanding further. Regrettably, the developments surrounding this event led it to fall out of line with our beliefs as an organization. The founder of Bridge USA at Berkeley, the organization that initially invited Ann Coulter to speak at UC Berkeley, shares his perspective on the events surrounding the invitation. I invited Ann Coulter to speak at UC Berkeley. Here's why. My group doesn't agree with her, but we believe in free speech. By Pranav Yandhyala, April 27. Pranav Yandhyala is a freshman at the University of California at Berkeley, where he is the founder and co-president of Bridge USA at Berkeley. University of California at Berkeley freshman Pranav Yandhyala is the founder and co-president of Bridge USA, the nonpartisan organization that invited conservative commentator Ann Coulter to campus. Victoria Walker / The Washington Post. I am the founder of Bridge USA at Berkeley, the nonpartisan organization that worked with college Republicans to invite Ann Coulter to the University of California at Berkeley's campus. Our organization hopes to create a future in which our campus and our country are venues for free and fair political discussion and debate from all sides. We stand for the preservation of spaces where political ideas can be shared and challenged without fear of violence. To that end, we decided to help bring Coulter to Berkeley today to speak to a body of mainly liberal students on immigration. Unfortunately, threatened attacks from extremist groups forced the cancellation of this event. Let's be clear, blame for the cancellation of Coulter's speech does not rest solely on the shoulders of any individual. The administration, student groups including ours, external resistance groups and the media all made mistakes that need to be corrected. Fundamentally, though, the system of political dialogue and debate is broken, not just on this campus, but across the nation. We formed our organization earlier this year after the infamous Milo Yiannopoulos event here, where an incendiary speaker, violent rioters, and a divided nation combined to create the perfect storm of political controversy. The university cancelled a speech in February by Yiannopoulos, a prominent conservative writer, after intense protests that led to a campus-wide shelter-in-place order. That day, instigation and violence replaced mediation and conversation, and we wanted to repair this breakdown in communication. Our goal since then has been to facilitate dialogue between political opposites, allowing everyone to engage with and understand opposing viewpoints. We have so far been successful in hosting forum sessions and debates on a series of different issues. We've hosted 5 events in about 2 months. Many students were immediately interested in our mission, and our membership has expanded rapidly. We have 40 officers and about 150 to 200 members. Coulter was the choice of conservative groups on campus to represent their perspective in a larger campus debate about illegal immigration we were hosting. Liberal groups on campus had chosen Maria Echavist, a former advisor to President Bill Clinton. She spoke on April 17 and answered questions from conservative students in the audience. Coulter's ideas have an audience, and though most members of our group don't agree with her, we recognize the following she draws. We also understand that many see her as an inflammatory figure with destructive beliefs that disqualify her from appearing at an institution of higher learning. But we believe the only productive way to fight views one sees as bad or dangerous is with better views. So we chose to get involved and include Coulter in our speaker series on immigration so students could hear, and actively challenge, her views. We planned for the event to be a debate-style Q&A with rebuttals to allow for a back-and-forth dialogue. Coulter would have fielded tough questions about her views from students in the audience, and we would have done our part to ensure that she would answer those questions in their entirety and give students the opportunity to respond. Rather than repeating the failures of Yiannopoulos's event, we wanted to create a national example for what free discourse and the questioning of ideas should look like here at Berkeley, the home of the free speech movement 50 years ago. Free speech isn't about provocation, violence, publicity stunts, selling books or testing limits. At their best, universities start and nurture conversations that advance dialogue and understanding further. Regrettably, the developments surrounding this event led it to fall out of line with our beliefs as an organization. Why free speech on campus is not as simple as everyone thinks. National media coverage of Coulter's visit mostly overlooked Bridge USA at Berkeley's role and our plan for the event, instead reporting that the incident was a repeat of the Yiannopoulos fracas, exactly what we set out to avoid. And as the tensions between student safety and free speech entered the justice system, Yiannopoulos himself announced that he would be organizing a free speech week on Sproul Plaza where he and his supporters would attack a new perceived enemy of free speech every day. It pains me to see our campus being used as a pulpit for bad actors, people whose goal is to elevate themselves by inciting violence, without a thought for the safety of students who live and attend school here. Sproul Plaza is becoming a battleground, and the ones who are left to pick up the bill of consequences is the Berkeley student body, which is vilified every day in the press for destruction that outside groups are responsible for. Antifa and other black bloc groups that are able to organize do so far beyond the perimeters of our campus, and they receive an insignificant amount of support from Berkeley students, if any. But in national news, all that's seen is violence and destruction being used to censor speech. What's disheartening to me is seeing the words free speech being used as a tool to garner headlines and publicity. The whole purpose behind the idea of free speech has been lost. What's happening on our campus is no longer about advancing discourse anymore. It's no longer an attempt to reach a larger truth and understanding about policy issues so that better decisions can be made. It's just a furious chase to get in front of the news cameras and be trending on Twitter and Facebook. Conservative groups, in their attempt to frame this complex series of events as a free speech battle by suing Berkeley's administration, have used the label of free speech as a tool for publicity. Our organization prides itself on the values of free inquiry and discourse, yet we understand the impossible trade-off that the university faces. The administration is caught between upholding its commitment to free speech and its responsibility for student safety. The right has its own version of political correctness. It's just as stifling. The administration attempted to work with us, to propose alternative dates this semester and next semester where a defensible venue would be available. In balancing the concerns of protecting students and allowing peaceful protest, they never backed down from their commitment to help us bring Coulter to campus. It is easy and expedient to blame the university in this situation, but that avoids the actual problem. The true issue here is not the way that the university handled this situation, rather, it is the fact that this trade-off between student safety and free speech even exists in the first place. It's a scary situation when the university cannot perfectly perform its duty, when it cannot guarantee the safety of all speakers at all times in all places. Those who would threaten student safety and destroy our campus to silence speech they disagree with are culpable for the existence of this new trade-off. And violence and threats which restrict the free exchange of ideas constitute fascism under the banner of anti-fascism. We challenge the Berkeley administration, the Berkeley College Republicans and Coulter to work collaboratively and address the cancellation of the event and the current political climate. These respective parties continue to affirm their commitment to free speech, but they have demonstrated minimal effort in speaking freely with one another. Civil discussions are necessary to progress our democracy and address pressing points of contention. We can alleviate polarization if we come to the table to talk, but until then, there is no constructive way forward. Threatening violence does not change minds, and instigating controversy for publicity does not fix a broken system. We, as a community, have to recognize that there is a world outside of Berkeley. How can we promote what we believe if we are associated with images of violence? We need to act with the knowledge that everyone is watching. We refuse to meet speech with violence and oppression. We refuse to invoke the right to free speech to inflame, attack and generate publicity. We refuse to accept the current status quo surrounding speech on university campuses across the country. Instead, we will continue to pursue our mission of creating environments in which students can engage with their peers as free thinkers, express their opinions without fear and have their beliefs, suppositions, and prejudices challenged rather than dismissed. Only through these means can we begin to bridge the gap brought on by polarization and allow for a free exchange of political ideas. Written with additional contributions by Sean Vernon, editor of Bridge USA at Berkeley's publication.
Hey Charlotte County, this is Charlotte County COPWATCH, and I wanted to explain what fair use is. You can use pieces of news articles if you're doing it for news reporting, you have commentary, and you're doing it for education purposes. So that's what fair use is, as you can see right here. Another reason why I wanted to make this video is to let you know I have just joined with Patreon. A nice thing with Patreon, I make no money on YouTube. They took the money away years ago, and so this is another way to give, and it's a nice thing too because you can give monthly. You can give $1, $5, $10, whatever. I do 4 to 5 hours a day on trying to wake the sheep up on how corrupt it is and different ways that you can fight the corruption. So Patreon is a way that you can do it, and then of course the old way is still there. Donate to Charlotte County COPWATCH with PayPal or credit card. So keep that in mind. 4 to 5 hours a day. I make no money, but the corruption happened to me, and I'm sick of it, so I'm trying to wake people up. But my wife would love it if some, if we could get some help out there. There's 47,000 subscribers. Just think if each one of you subscribers just gave a, let's say, actually, yes, $1 a month. 47,000 subscribers gave $1 a month. That would be awesome. That's not going to happen. But anyways, that would be great if it did happen. But, do the math in your head. Just think about it. Like I said, 4 to 5 hours a day. I get no money from YouTube. YouTube has gone nuts. You can't do anything anymore. They're taking the money away everywhere. So these are a couple different ways that you can still help out with all this time that I put in. And as you know, I'm in a special situation where, at least I can do it. 4 to 5 hours a day. We have a cleaning company during the day. That's what allows me to do this, and we're debt-free. So this is my hobby. I don't go fishing and all that other crap. I try to save the world. So help me out to make the wife happy, man. In fact, if you guys did give $1 a day, and there was 47,000 of you, and you did it, and each of you gave $1, and that was every month, oh my God, yes, I could quit. I could start suing them. Another idea, too, that we have is, if I got, some funds, we could actually contact everyone that has been ticketed and or arrested and put in jail and start sending them postcards to let them know we're here, and to see if everything went all right, and if it didn't, find out their story. So we could even do more investigations and more lawsuits. Lawsuits take money. So just think about that. 47,000 of you so far right now. $1 a day. $1 a month on Patreon, or $5 a month Patreon, 10, 20, whatever. Just do the math in your head. Help out. This is a lot of work every single day. Thanks.